Welcome back to What Would It Cost? Today we're talking about running a powerhouse real estate team and adapting to the market to make sure you're the perfect fit for your clients. With our special guest, Jas Takhar. What is it going to cost?
How much? Hi, my name is Nicholas Regina.
My name is Michael Sakuro.
And you're listening to
What Would It Cost?
Is that good?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome aboard, brother.
Hey, man, I have to say before we get started, I've been able to see what you guys are up to on the socials, and then obviously with this show and this podcast, and we need more positivity out there, and you guys are spreading it, obviously with your big smiles and the beautiful hair and all that. Just congratulations and kudos to you guys.
Appreciate
I know as a fellow content creator how tough it is. Like, to get guests, and then people change, like, and you got to reschedule, and then to come up with topics and keep the energy going. I was lucky enough to see a friend here that was recording before me, and you guys brought the same energy, and you're bringing the same energy. So massive congratulations to you, and I know the guys behind the camera need a big kudos as well. So congratulations to all of you.
Appreciate that, man.
Sure, man.
Yeah. Appreciate us you starting it off like that.
Hey, man, look, I think it's important that we try to give flowers to each other as much as possible, right? Like, I think there's enough business to go around. I always say you can tell that I like pies, because even if we run out of them, we'll figure out ways to bake more, right? Like, there's 76,000 real estate agents in the GTA. I kind of lost count, but I think there's probably close to 10,000 mortgage brokers now, right? Like something around like that, where we can see each other as competition, but damn, imagine if we can figure out ways and find ways that we can actually collaborate and help each other,
Absolutely.
right? I think, look, three's better than two people. Two people are better than one person, right? And so we're huge at my office. The culture, the environment around collaboration over competition. So I just wanted to make sure you guys got your flowers. For sure.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. Yeah. And big shout out to our sponsor at 475 Rogers Road. You got Claudio Ferreira and all his boys cutting people up, making sure everyone's looking crispy when they walk out of there. And he's got an awesome product line that he's making big moves with. It's called the Ferreira Signature line, and it keeps the hairpiece nice and sound, as my boy Jas had nothing but compliments today for me with. So shout out to them, and shout out to them, not only their services but their products are awesome too. Thank you, Claudio.
So what are you guys been up to, man? How you guys doing? Good?
Yeah. Like we were talking about off screen before, adapt to the shift of the market, and I'd love to hear your piece on it, because that's what we're looking at with clients, switching, like you were saying, from the buyer to more the investor, looking at taking advantage as an investor, and how realtors should be shifting their mindset to take care of these investors as well.
Yeah, look, I think as realtors and mortgage advisors are like cousins of ours in the industry. Like we both have similar business models. We're kind of going after the same clients. Being in sales my whole life, like I'm kind of boring. I got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old son, and other than that, like, I don't boat, I don't golf, I don't do any of that stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I like to build a business, and I like to sell, right? And so doing that my whole life since 6, like helping with the Christmas ornaments, helping with the bake sale, you start to pick up on patterns. Like, I would be an idiot if I didn't pick up on some patterns doing this now for close to 28 years professionally, knocking on doors, selling newspapers, car sales, banking, and real estate now for coming up to 18 years. I've seen the market go up and down. I think the most basic thing that people can do in the business, real estate agents and mortgage brokers, is actually helping people create wealth in this industry. Real estate is not necessarily the only investment, or it might not be the best investment for people. I'm biased. I like to think real estate is one of the best ways to create wealth. You as a realtor and a mortgage advisor also have the ability, because there's not a lot of people in our industry that are actually talking to the marketplace about creating wealth. And so if you can essentially take advantage of that opportunity that exists, you're not going to be really concerned about if how many listings are selling right now, or what's happening with the market. Because as an investor, when it's really hot, investors are looking for properties. And when the market's cooled down, like it has now, well, the savvy investor understands that there's a lot of compelling buying opportunities out there. So as a realtor, as a mortgage advisor, you now are pretty much protected against whatever's going on in the market. From a content creation perspective, and content creation, I mean, now the buzzword with content creation is like videos and podcasts, but there's still like blog writing, there's still images that you can put out. Home sellers and home buyers are only looking for tips. The 3 best ways to sell your house, the 2 best ways to stage your house, that kind of stuff, when they're in the process.
Right.
Investors are like, it's the best drug in the world. Like, once you invest into a property, income property, pre-construction condos, whatever it is, commercial investing, you get addicted to it. It's better than crack, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna want to do it over and over again.
Yeah.
So now your prospects, your clients are multi-transactional. So again, now when you're dealing with investors, doesn't matter what happens with the market, it goes up, it goes down, you're gonna have clients.
Yeah.
Once that client actually invests, they are not like a home seller or a home buyer that, I think it's safe to say, used to be 5 years, a decade ago, that homes would turn over. It's probably, if you go to Home Depot on a Saturday, you know how busy it is. Like, people are staying in their homes.
Yeah.
It's shifted to now maybe 7 to 8 years that homes are actually turning over, where investors are gonna wanna do it like twice a year, 3 times a year. So imagine having a pool of clients that want to hear from you, they're thirsty for the knowledge, and they want to do it as many times as possible. And then the 4th thing that I love about working with investors is that we generally hang out with people that are similar to us. Right? And so when you're helping an investor, they're at a cocktail party and they're like, oh man, like, I just bought a property and it's rented out, and then their friends are like, well, how did you do all that? Well, there's this crazy, good-looking Indian guy that's me, by the way, is talking about how to invest into real estate. Go talk to him.
Yeah.
And so the pool of business that you have access to when working with investors is, to me, right now, at the time of this recording, call it, fall 2022, it's the biggest white space that exists. I know it firsthand because I can't even handle the amount of clients that are asking for income properties, not only in the GTA, like right across the country. Like, I don't have enough people. And I have a team of 54 agents, so like that help our clients within the GTA, that I just think, like, there's enough. Like, David should do it. Everyone should do it. Every real estate agent should start to focus, and mortgage advisors, really start to brand themselves as an advisor opposed to the real estate salesperson, mortgage, because they just think otherwise the clients just think of us as salespeople.
Yeah.
Where once you get to be looked at as an advisor, they tell you everything. Like, I sit with clients and they'll tell me about the equity in their home, the money they have in their bank account, the money that the wife is hiding from the husband, and vice versa, the money under the pillow, because they want you to help them create wealth. And so for me, and for everybody who's watching and listening, if you're in the business and you're looking for sustainability and consistency in your business, not this up and down stuff, I think you should be shifting towards working with investors. That doesn't mean that you're not going to take a listing. That doesn't mean that you're not going to work with the first-time home buyer. It's just that you're going to be focused working with investors, because you'll get all the peripheral business. You'll be sitting with Joe the investor, and he'll tell you about his niece who needs the first condo. He'll tell you about his friend Mary that is looking to sell her home. But at the highest, the top of the funnel should be that you speak to people about investing into real estate.
Absolutely.
And now I know, again, out of experience, that people, somebody's listening right now as a real estate agent or a mortgage broker and saying, dude, I don't know what like a pre-construction condo is. No problem. Partner up with like Laura, partner up with David and get their expertise, right? And then they can do business together. I don't know how to invest into multiplexes. No problem. Find someone in your office for the first time, do it at a 50-50. Heck, like if it's your first time ever that you're going to be working on that deal, take it at 0. You're going to learn something throughout the process, opposed to only thinking that you need to get listings and buys. Because unfortunately, especially in the market we're in right now, 41%, we've gone down 41% in sales volume. The one thing that I know though is my actual business has been affected obviously by the sales volume, but not at 41%, right? And so why? Because my guys have been educated, my clients have been educated on why they should consider, not necessarily have to invest into real estate, but why they should consider looking at investing into real estate. To your point, they definitely need their hands held throughout the process, because it's not as easy as buying a stock. But like, I educate them on why you should consider looking at stocks, or you should consider looking at crypto as well. Maybe that's your jam, right? But real estate obviously offers you the passiveness that other investments necessarily don't. Yeah. And you know, we all talk about how you can leverage, which is very important. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, is the difference maker when you're coming at it from the perspective of becoming an advisor, not a salesperson. And now you're going into like the difference between being transactional and relationship, right? Because the transaction person is like, man, let me just get this listing. Dude, I need to pay my bills. Let me get my listing. Like, there's someone watching right now and saying, I think Jas is on crack. Like, man, I need my listing. Like, I get it. But if you can step back for a sec and just maybe educate that client on yeah, you need another property. Well, what if, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we can actually hold on? Like, you guys know this more than anyone else, and you know the agent should be calling you guys. Like, is there a way we can keep the property, pull out some equity, and go buy that other home, and then actually have an income property and become an investor?
Absolutely. It's understanding, you know, what tools you have around you right now that you can use. Because, like, to your point, we hear that a lot. They come to us like, okay, I want to buy that property, so we're going to sell this property. It's like, well, no, hold on. You got a huge amount of equity here because you bought this 30 years ago. You pretty much paid down your mortgage. Let's refi, look at a home equity line of credit product or just a mortgage product. Use that as your investment property. Put the renters in there. Here's your new primary residence, or vice versa. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just simplest things to us, but not to others.
Not to because they just don't know what they don't know. You know what I mean? And they're also afraid to ask, right? Like nobody wants to look stupid.
Yeah.
Right? And so people, your clients in your database, like in your CRM, whatever you're doing, emailing, on your socials, they don't wanna DM you and ask you a question because they're like, oh shoot, I'm gonna look stupid. Mm-hmm. So how do you, as a real estate agent, get around that? Like, here's the ticket. Like, you can stop listening to me after this, for the person who's taking their dog for a walk right now. Book an event with you guys as the mortgage advisors, like literally in the next 30 days. Book the event, have these two guys come in, okay? Like have these two guys come in, do that whole spiel that they just did on how to refinance the property, okay? Mm-hmm. Invite as many people as you possibly can. And as the real estate agent, you don't need to blow your bank account on this. Literally, it's going to cost you $200, $250, maybe slightly more if you have to rent out a hotel, but I'm sure you have an office space that you can get 50 people in. Have them do that whole talk. Ask them 2-3 questions. Yeah. The coolest thing as the real estate agent, the host, it's an easier job. Like, no offense to the boys here, I'm also a podcast host. It's a little easier than the expert that's in the other seat, because I'm doing the heavy lifting. At the event, they're going to be doing the heavy lifting. Yeah. Your clients that are sitting there, the 50 people that are sitting there, I can promise you, because I've been doing events like this, educational events, no sale. Like, no, you need to buy this now, buy 50, like none of that garbage. Just educate your clients. 10%, well, on the spot, so you have 50 people sitting there, 5 people are going to say, I actually want more information. And then they're going to sit down with them, and you guys are going to figure out if they can pull out the equity. Imagine you get one deal. 1 hour of your time, call it with prep before and after. Call it 5 hours of your time at the start with that whole event process. Yeah. And we all know what the average price point is in the GTA. You can start to do the math on that. Right now, imagine you could take it to the next level. What if you did that 4 times a year, every quarter? And the next time you don't bring in the boys from Spark, you bring in a real estate lawyer. You bring in
appraiser.
An appraiser, or you bring in somebody that actually deals with investing into multiplexes. Right. You can start to see how the brain can start working on getting creative on different types of topics, as long as you have the mindset that you're going to educate them.
Yeah.
Educate people. I promise you, if you educate them, especially if you can take it to the level of like you're gonna give away all the information.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll give it to real estate agents. We wrote a book on how to actually sell your own home, how to buy your own home, and how to invest on your own. Mm-hmm. the cool thing that happens is that 98% of people will always use the service of a professional.
Yeah.
And so if you're the agent who's given away all the information, they will come back to you. The clients will come back to you and actually use you for that service.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it value that you took that time?
So that's it, man. That's it, man. Give.
So how does a busy guy like yourself manages time? What tools and tips and tricks do you have for the audience? You're a published author, you got over 50 brokers, 11 full-time staff, podcast host, the list goes on. What do you do to stay efficient? And not only that, but you showed up in the room and that energy was like, whoa, you know what I mean? So like what do you do to not only manage the time and get to what you have to with the business aspect, but show up and be present with that
I appreciate
energy?
that. I mean, the energy for sure is mom and dad DNA kind of stuff.
Okay.
You know, dad didn't go for that extra whiskey at that, 9 months before I was kind of born. So the energy's all DNA. It's all DNA. I'm very grateful, really. I mean, I have a lot of stuff that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I have an amazing team around me. If I didn't have the people in the leadership in my organization, I wouldn't definitely be here. In terms of like my actual schedule, I've tried to hack away at it. I'm also someone that I don't have access to MLS. Like, I'm a real estate agent, but I don't have a computer. I haven't touched a computer in 5 years. I very rarely leave the office. Like, this is an in-person a podcast. I know what you guys are up to. It's why I wanted to come on. I love your guys' energy, right? So I've also kind of created my business around my life, where I'm a t-shirt, hoodie kind of wearing guy, and that's how you're gonna see me on my videos. You're also gonna see me like that at the office. I also have a studio, but it's right 3-minute walking distance to my office, because I wanted to make sure I'm able to stay around this core staff. It's my admins, like executive assistants and anybody in the business, get to this place as quickly as possible. Okay, so I mean, if you got licensed today, get yourself an executive assistant tomorrow, like right away.
Yeah.
Because as a real estate professional, as a salesperson, as a business person, you have 2 jobs, in my opinion. You need to meet as many people as you possibly can in person or digitally, like on the socials, and then help them with your product or service.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. You guys need to actually, figure out how to get the mortgage, make the relationships with the lenders and the underwriters. Me, I gotta meet with my clients and then actually help them buy, sell, and invest, negotiate the deal. Everything in between needs to be delegated. Completely delegated.
Absolutely.
Just work on your strengths. So if your strengths are meeting people, that's why you need to do that more often. So for me, I just I let go of a lot of control. Like, I watch my team, sometimes they make mistakes, but I know the way that I learned was making those mistakes. And we were kind of talking about that off air for 13 seconds, where I watch sometimes my top salespeople, I watch my VP, I watch my director of team operations. They're not doing it exactly the way that I would. But if I stopped that, if I stopped them from actually trying, I wouldn't be able to be at the place I'm at now, meaning that they would never have learned. And so letting go control is very important. And then you'll get to a point, why I said you need to get the assistant right away is because most people will think, I can't afford an assistant right now. No, the real thing is that you can't afford not to have an assistant. You got to get it right. Like, look, real estate agents print out their own, comparative market analysis, and they print them out and they search MLS. They upload their own listings. Like, are you the best uploader of listings in the world? Like, nobody else can do that. You can't teach someone how to do that. You need to get to a place, meet people, help them with your product and service. And that's how I kind of get around doing. It looks like I'm up to a lot, especially with my content, because look, I produce anywhere from 15 to 18 pieces of content a day. But I've hacked away at it, right? There's my videographers here. You guys were nice enough to let him in. He's gonna take some clips. If you'll notice a lot of my stuff on social, I'm generally wearing the same thing. It's because I take clips from my bigger pieces of content, right? I see you guys do something similar as well. And so those are ways that I get to hack away at content creation for sure.
And to stay in that sweet spot. And what you really enjoy doing day in, day out is what you focus on, delegating the rest. So when scaling your business and when you're onboarding new staff, do you have a 1, 3, 5-year model that you're looking at and understand what it's going to cost you to gear up to do a certain amount of volume and continue to service who you got to service? Like, how do you go about breaking down and building out a budget and just being okay with letting go of that next position and having someone come into it and you being able to expense it? What does that all look like?
Yeah, this might really make me sound like I'm crazy, but I live by like ready, fire, aim. Right, so I don't get stuck in paralysis by analysis a lot. I'm all about top line revenue. So in terms of cost, which is very important, you need to worry about your bottom line and what the profit is, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I like the game of business so much. Like, I like being in the business. I like being in business.
Yeah.
And so what I've come to learn is that as long as I'm making more than I'm spending, I'm going to stay in business. Now, it's important for me. This is not for everyone. I'm not a flashy guy. You know, like, this t-shirt didn't cost much. I once on air said that it was like, you know, a $60 t-shirt, and my videographer in the back was like, dude, we saw your assistant buy it. It was $20 from each. like you don't spend, like, I don't spend a lot of money on stuff. I don't have, and again, this is not a knock on anyone else, but me, I'm not into any of that kind of stuff, right? And so what I like is I like to hire people. Like, for me, like, when I think about, like, I'm always at around $40,000 per person. Okay. I'm also of Indian descent. Like, we negotiate over apples back home. my father was a taxi driver, and my mother's a factory worker their whole life. So I got to see pinching pennies, right? Why is that important? Because I know how to find interns. And at the start, generally my model is you're going to be an unpaid intern. I need to see if you're going to fit in my culture.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you go to part-time, then you go to full-time, and then you can work your way into, you know, like leadership roles, where some of my people in the leadership role, they're paid on performance. Okay. So that, for me, is where I like to get as many people as possible, because now they got real skin in the game with me, right? You talked about the full-time staff, right? And so my biggest cost, and I don't look at it as an expense, for me it's an investment, is by far my content creation team, because I have 4 full-time videographers and editors, all like full-time, in-person staff, benefits, all of that stuff. I have 2 graphic designers, I have a content writer, and that by far is the biggest investment. And now we're probably flirting around $250,000. But what I make, like the return on that investment is actually more than 10x. Right. And so for me, I only look at it as an investment, never an expense. It's nice that I get to write it all off, obviously, but what I want people to really understand, I didn't wake up one day and just get that, like that all those videographers and all those graphic. I built it over time. Over time. This whole content creation machine, actually, and I love the name of the podcast, like what would it cost? Is that at the start it cost me $75. A mic from Staples. That's it. That started this whole craziness of content creation for me. Right? I got a mic, we plugged it into a computer, figured that out, and trust me, I suck when it comes to tech. My VP, who's a business partner in my media company now, Laura, like, she's not that good at tech either, but she's resourceful. She figured it out going on Google and YouTube, the best 2 sites to kind of figure things like that out. Plugged it into a laptop, we started recording. So you can start, nowadays you can actually start less than $75. Because now you need just like, you know, a $15 mic from Amazon connected into your phone, and you can have yourself a beautiful podcast. You can actually, if you turn on the video, you can actually have a video podcast, then you can start to clip. But for me, the biggest investment that I made was into the content creation, and that is right around the $250,000 mark for me.
Awesome. So you've grown that. You got $250,000 in expense. You got about 6 staff members there. If I heard right. Okay. And like, so what does that look like in regards to you continuing to grow that engine on your, like, is there a certain percentage of that stays true to what the top line revenue is, and as the top line revenue moves up, that does, or is it just when it calls for it, get someone else into the mix?
That's the way that I roll. I'm more like, look, I'm gonna get I know I want to get, let's say, to 100 staff members in that media company of ours.
Oh, wow.
Once I get to 100, I know that, okay, like that will mean that right now the 6 that we have on a consistent basis, we have a little over 30 people, close to 30 people, maybe right around 30 people that use our services to create content. So the real estate agents and mortgage brokers, they come to us and they want us to help them actually create a podcast, create a webinar, do videos, like, and they'll come to us with 3 videos at a time, 6 videos or 10 videos. Consistently, we have close to about 30 people that do that. I know that team of 6 right now, if I really wanted to push them a little bit more, and if my partner Laura wanted to push them a little bit more, I think we can probably get that to about 37 to 38 people, clients. The same 6 people.
Wow.
Okay, so that's how I scale it in my head. Okay, so I can probably get to, call it 35 for easy math. Can probably have 70 clients. I need 12 staff, and we're just gonna keep moving the needle. You said something earlier. I'm gonna stop all of it the second I stop having fun. Like if it's not making me happy, we're done. Like that's kind of how I gauge it all. It has to be fun. Right now, I don't mind having obstacles. I think that to me is the fun. I like the process of failing. Like for the first, we've been in business now in the media side for coming up to 15 months, I believe it is, right? The first 8-9 months, we couldn't get anything right, right? But it was at that 11th, 12th month, like just 3 months ago, really, where I was like, oh, we got this. Like, it's starting to click now. Where it's funny because on the real estate side, it's been 17 years, the company that I've had and the organization there, but that took me 10 years. Like for the first 10 years, I still didn't know what the heck we were doing. Like we were just breaking profit. Right? But it was like year 11, year 12, it started to really take off, where now majority of it is residual for me on that side.
Right. So it did that was a big move with you vertically integrating. Like it was a machine that was brought on to fuel and power the real estate side of it. But then because you got so good at it, and there was a need for it in the industry, not only to service your own brokerage and realtors, but outsiders as well, you opened the doors for opening another business. So it's actually generating you income and being able to fuel your own.
Oh, for sure. Media. Well, look, I mean, at the start, I was, we gave all the information away for free. Like when I, to other real estate agents and mortgage, like I did earlier today, like literally, you know, the event, that whole process that I went through. We told people how to do their own videos, how to do their own podcast, exactly what equipment to buy. I actually have a guide that shows like, this is how much I pay this videographer, this editor, this, all of it. Gave it all away. Had no thoughts of ever doing a company. I was like, well, I'm not doing a friggin' another client service company. Like we're in that business, right? Like one's good enough. But then I have people coming, like you check in with some of these real estate agents and mortgage brokers and be like, hey man, like, so how's that going? And they're like, I got busy, I couldn't do it. Hey, can you just like, can we borrow your people? I'm like, borrow my people? I'm all about sharing, but man, I want them to create more content for me. Like
exactly.
And it kept happening. And then the entrepreneur was like in me and in my partner Laura, like she's getting asked in the ladies' washroom, like, oh my God, can like, we love all this content that you're doing. Can you start doing it for us and all this? And that's when we said, you know what, let's try this. We called the first person that asked us, and we said, hey, would you want us to do a show for you? She's like, yeah, let's do it. And then it just started to build from there, right? Again, the lesson I'm hoping people get out of that is that, man, when you're doing something that makes you so happy, you get in front of so many more opportunities.
Absolutely.
Like I never woke up. Well, I know everyone in the real estate business, and there's no one who said that they wanted to be a real estate agent growing up as a kid. But for the media side for us, we never like thought of opening up a media company until it kept on slapping us in the face. Right? Because it's hard for people to have the obsession, and you guys know the work ethic that it takes to come and do 4 or 5 podcasts in a day. Like that's a lot, man. You got to bring a lot of energy, all that booking, and then getting the team together and doing all the editing and all that kind of stuff. for a single agent or a single mortgage broker, it is tough, right? And so I thought, look, there's some opportunity here. Let's take it. And we're having a blast. And if that stops, if like Laura and I as business partners don't get along, and because I have a business partner in my real estate company that him and I have been like, we're brothers from another mother for the last coming up to 18 years. But if that changes, we'll stop doing it, right?
Yeah.
But people are asking, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. It's actually a lot more satisfying to me watching, like you guys had David on. I don't know if he's coming on or if he's on before this recording, but he's done a couple of videos with us, man. Like watching his progression, and I got to see the tail end of his podcast talking about pre-construction investing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the coolest thing to see for me. Like, it's almost like in a weird way, it's like a dad seeing their kid. You know what I mean? And it's kind of cool to see like this progression. And it's what other people would say, it's your competition. I feed into that even more because it's like, oh no, man, I'm going to give David even more. I'm going to give him all my best stuff because I'm going to show, at least here in the Greater Toronto Area, I think in the country, I got that passion and the obsession to take over the world in the business world. I'm going to show them that you can be really, really nice and still win.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Very well done, man. That was awesome. Big energy.
Look, there's 6.6 million people in the GTA, man. I want to get to all of them.
Yeah.
Like, I do, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Why? Because people are going to look at me and say, I'm not investing 100 grand with this guy. Look at him. He's in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or like the stuff I say in my own content is crazy. Like I tell people, this podcast, half the words I said, I couldn't spell them. You know what I mean? I don't have anything past the high school education, right? So now people are going to hear that and say, there's no way I'm investing any money with this guy. So I'm not going to get to them all. They're not all going to like us. You know, I like your hair, but there's going to be somebody who's looking at it saying, this guy's too Polish for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So like, why even try to like, look, to me, the objective of marketing is one thing, man. You attract the right people and you repel the wrong ones. And
great.
at the end of the day, watch my videos. You like me? Awesome. Come on in. You don't like me? Cool. Didn't waste your time. You didn't waste my time.
Yeah.
Move on. Let's get to the next person.
Great mentality. And once you wrap your head around that, the world is yours.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
now you made a Scarface reference, so now I'm liking you even more.
We're gonna come to the office, then you'll really like us then.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we have that on the neon sign.
Oh,
The
yeah.
world is yours.
Thanks again for listening to this week's podcast. Be sure to like, follow, share, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. And big shout out again to our sponsor, 475 Rogers Road, Fade Room, Claudio Ferreira. He's got this greasy quaff looking good, as Jas likes to say. And he's got a great line called the Ferreira Signature Line. It's good stuff. Check him out. Thank you very much, Claude.